Welcome to Merle's Guitar World. This is part 2 of a 2-part video explaining how to read guitar tablature. If you are new to tab, I recommend viewing part 1 before viewing this video. Tablature includes special notation to indicate special movements to be performed, such as slides, bends, hammers, and pull-offs. Since tablature was created from non-conventional sources, there is more than one way to indicate some of these movements. This video shows what I consider the most common notation. The different varieties of notation are similar, such that once one variety is learned, it should be much easier to adapt to the others. This diagram indicates a hammer-on and consists of two numbers with the letter H between them. To perform a hammer-on, one finger holds the fret position, the string is picked, and then a different finger presses the same string on a different fret. The string is only picked one time. The number to the left is the fret position that will be initially held and picked, and the number to the right is the fret position that will be hammered. The diagram indicates a hammer from the 3rd to the 5th fret on the 3rd string by placing a H between a 3 and a 5 on the 3rd string. The movement is performed like this. A pull-off is accomplished by fretting 2 frets on one string at the same time, then picking the string and lifting one finger so that the 2nd fretted position sounds. This diagram instructs us to perform a pull-off on the 3rd string from the 5th to the 3rd fret by placing a P between a 5 and a 3 on the 3rd string. This movement is performed like this. A bend requires a player to stretch a string using an upward or downward motion in order to change the pitch of the string. Most players bend up. The bend creates a new tone that is equivalent to the tone of a string played 1, 2, or 3 frets higher than the fret that we are fingering. Tab shows us to what equivalent fret number to bend the string. This movement requires us to hear the proper note while bending, so it takes a little practice, good listening, and finger strength to get it right. In this example, the 3rd finger will fret the 3rd string at the 5th fret, then bend the string to change the tone to the equivalent tone of the 6th fret, like this. In this example, the string will be bent harder to the equivalent of 2 frets instead of 1. I found this type bend to be encountered most often, and it will take more finger strength to accomplish. Here the 3rd finger will fret the 3rd string at the 5th fret again, but this time it will be bent up to the equivalent tone of the 7th fret. This is how it's done. A release usually follows a bend. This example instructs us to pick the note, bend the string, then release the string back to its normal position all in one fluid action. The string is picked only one time at the beginning of the movement. Here the 2nd string is picked at the 5th fret, bent to the 7th fret equivalent tone, then released back to the 5th fret. The movement is performed like this. The next on the list of movements is the slide. Slides can be either up or down the neck and are indicated by a slash. Forward slash means to slide up, and the backslash means to slide down. Don't worry so much about which slash is which, because the numbers that surround the slash will inherently indicate which way the slide is going. The number to the left of the slash is where the slide starts, and the number to the right of the slash is where the slide ends. Here's an example of a slide up on the 1st string from the 2nd to the 4th fret, which in tab is a forward slash between a 2 and a 4. The left-hand number is the starting fret position, and the right-hand number is the ending fret position. Here's how the slide is performed. Here's an example of a slide down on the 1st string from the 5th to the 3rd fret, as indicated by a backslash between a 5 and a 3. As with the slide up, the left-hand number is the starting fret position, and the right-hand number is the ending fret position. Here's how the movement is performed. Another common skill to learn is vibrato, which is a way to wiggle the string while fretting it in order to make the sound sustain. Tab represents vibrato by placing tilde symbols after a fret number. Since tab does not express timing, the duration of the vibrato is basically going to be what the song calls for. There's still a bit of reading between the lines with tab. Here's an example of vibrato performed on the 3rd string at the 5th fret. The right hand tap movement uses the index finger of the picking hand to tap a string to the fretboard. In this example, the index finger of the right hand will tap the 2nd string at the 9th fret. A single tap is normally only part of a guitar passage, and a release will usually follow a tap. This means that the release position must be fretted before the tap occurs. In this example, the index finger will fret the 2nd string at the 5th fret, then tap and release will be performed at the 9th fret. When released, the right finger should use a slight sideways flicking action in order to sound the release note. Here's what the movement looks like. Dampening the strings keep them from sounding distinct notes by deadening the strings with the left hand. This is much like playing percussions on the guitar. Note that the X does not have the same meaning as it does in a chord diagram, in which case this would mean that the indicated string would not be played. In this example of dampening, all strings are strummed 2 times while being dampened. Palming is a way to shorten the sustain of the strings. The palm of the right hand is used to lightly touch the strings such that the notes are still heard, but the strings are muffled so that they do not continue to ring. In this example of palming, the 5th and 6th strings are played together and palmed 3 times. There are different versions of tab that you may encounter. The type that I presented here is common, and all versions are similar. Guitar tablature offers many advantages over chord diagrams, and is something that all guitar players should explore. I hope that this video has helped in your quest to become a better guitar player, and I hope to see you next time at Merle's Guitar World.